Hey, welcome back to the Helpful Home Inspector Show. My name is Matt Yake. I'm the Helpful Home Inspector, and we're here today with Bill Myers of Meyers Electric. Today we're going to be talking about electrical safety in the home. Electrical safety in the home, an important topic for all of you out there. Absolutely going to have a great show here for you today. Lots of good information. We're going to start out, as we always do, with our defect of the week. The defect of the week today is in reference to support columns in your home. So support column in your home, very important, holds up your house, and something you don't want to mess with, right? Okay. We were in a number of houses where the support columns have issues, but this one, it was something else. All right, Peter, switch it over to the computer for me, please.
The phone is straight.
Oh, and there's no joist hangers on anything. That way it was how the support columns were throughout that house. There was 4 of them. Holy man. On a retaining wall block, no footing, not attached at the bottom, not attached at the top, crooked.
I've seen a million of those.
Holy man. I mean, this house was a bit of a hot mess to begin with, but I tell you, when you see that kind of stuff, and this guy had done a lot of his own work, a lot of his own electrical work, all in plumbing, all his to put on his own roof. He was
old farmhouses.
This was not all that old of a house. It was probably a 70s, 80s house, you know? Yeah. It was one of those 2-part manufactured homes, you know, where they bring in on wheels, set it on the foundation with a crane.
And that's what people don't understand.
It's
a great deal.
Yeah.
Until you fix it.
Yeah. They think that they're saving money, you know, by going to Home Depot and talking to the 16-year-old kid to do it on themselves. But yes, I know you can go and buy some 14-2 wire and you can hook up a ceiling fan if you want, but you're putting all kinds of risks into it and stuff unless you really know what you're doing.
Correct.
And honestly, what are you saving? You know, you're going to have it fixed in the end anyways, and it's going to be more expensive than the original installation would have been to do it right in the first place. Yes. So columns like that, you guys, you can use lolly poles, okay? You can put in more columns if you want into your home, but you need to do it the right way, okay? There needs to be a proper footing underneath each column. They need to be secured at the bottom, and they need to be secured at the top in order to properly support the home, okay? Now, this holds up your entire home, so it's very, very important that be done correctly, all right? Now, as far as Meyers Electric goes, you guys are based out of Wales, Wisconsin, which is west of Waukesha, southwest of Waukesha-ish, you know? Yeah. Where is you guys' service area?
We've gone to Iowa. We've gone all the way up north to Minocqua.
That's a big trip. How do you get to Iowa? What happens there?
We wired up. We do commercial buildings like 60-family apartment buildings, stuff like that. And so back during the recession, 2008, there was no work around here.
Go wherever you have.
So one of my contractors we were in Dubuque doing a 60-family apartment building.
Wow.
So we got it. I don't normally go that far.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's Madison to the Lake Shore, down to Illinois, and up to Port Washington.
Now, working in Illinois.
We don't do Illinois too often because they fight us.
They have weird regulations and stuff, and even with home inspectors, they get kind of
if you're not union, you're not welcome.
Yeah, and even with home inspectors, you have to take all these extra tests and all this other stuff, and it's like, holy man, you guys are just going a little overboard.
They
with
do.
It,
so only towards Chicago, it's worse, but the outskirts aren't bad. We have done stuff down there, but I mean, we were in Kenosha for a long time. We did a lot of hotels, and apartment buildings and stuff down there, houses. So that's such a booming area.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's so much growth.
Yeah.
That Mount Pleasant area and all that stuff. Oak Creek.
Yep.
Oak Creek is just exploding.
Huge. Yeah, we just got done with 630 families down there. So we try to stick around home. I mean, the lake country here is our main.
Sure. As far as saving a buck today, we're going to give you a little bit of a electrical save a buck. So this is in reference to light bulbs. So the big push has been towards LED light bulbs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you see them everywhere. And every fixture is designed today to use LED light bulbs. So the problem that some people have with LED light bulbs is like with dimmer switches and stuff. Sometimes that gets a little goofy with frequencies and things. I think it is, right? But ultimately, switching out all of your incandescent bulbs to LED light bulbs will save you probably $200 a year annually. Yeah.
If you run them a lot.
Yeah, and I mean
commercially, it's more savings because they're on all the time.
Yeah, like if you have a commercial building or something like that. Yeah, for sure. Switching, like they went through when I was teaching and the LEDs were just coming out. They went through the whole school and changed out all the LED and all the bulbs to LED bulbs. And granted, it was a large expense project to begin with, but now these bulbs are going to last a lot longer. They're going to use a heck of a lot of electricity. And when you're talking about a school building,
they're on all the time.
Every day, all day, even at night, they're on, So, very, very important, and it will definitely save you a buck or two. Now, Bill,
plus you get focus on energy, too.
Yeah, you get rebates and stuff. Yeah, and if you're doing a large project like that, I would imagine there's probably some specialty rebates. For sure. As far as an LED, how long will an LED bulb last?
It all depends on the bulb, but I mean, they'll say up to 10 years, and so I always like to speak truths. So it's like I think we put our first LED in back in, oh boy, I bet you 8-9 years ago.
Sure.
And I think they're still going.
Yeah.
So outside lighting
and
on buildings
has something to do with how long it's on and the hours of operation. And stuff
the main thing with LEDs is the LED doesn't go bad. It's the drivers or transformer, or because you're converting energy. So those drivers are what goes bad. The LED might last forever. I honestly don't know. But the drivers go bad. So that stinks because you can't just change it.
Can't change that part out. It's all a sealed thing. And that's the thing with a lot of LED light fixtures these days too, with these little replacement can lights and stuff. It's a sealed thing. You can't change it. You have to change the whole fixture.
Unit. And that's a bad thing.
That's
bad about them.
Yep. Because then what's the odds that if you had a new one, that the new plug is going to plug into the receptacle of the old one?
Right.
That doesn't.
I mean, for replacement, that's bad.
Yeah.
But longevity, it's good. Mm-hmm. So I think the good outweighs the bad.
Yeah. Well, and even if you have like just a regular light fixture and you go out and buy they had like at Ace, they had a box of 4 LED light bulbs for like $2.
Yeah, they've come down in price so much. Thank God.
It's crazy. But if you buy those 4 bulbs and you replace them in your home, you're saving money today.
You are,
and a lot more than what you spent on the bulbs.
Correct.
So
back in the day, those were $20. And then it wasn't worth it.
Exactly.
Now it's to the point where it's well worth it, and I would definitely recommend it.
Well, and some people are hesitant. They're like, "How these light bulbs working just fine? Why should I?" Okay, you should replace it because it uses a lot of electricity.
Yes.
So if you have a 60-watt bulb, okay, you're using 60 watts of electricity every time that light bulb turns on and operates.
That's a half an amp.
Yeah, every time.
Every time.
Now with an LED, you're talking about 2 watts.
Yeah,
it's
like nothing. It's minuscule.
It's ridiculous the difference.
It reduces our. So when we wire houses for lighting, it reduces our circuits. Like the circuit breakers got laying here, we can run down to 1 circuit breaker instead of 3 that we used to have. That tells you the load. Mm-hmm. So it's significant.
Oh yeah, for sure. And the effort that it takes is minimal. The cost is minimal. It just it doesn't make any sense to keep running incandescent bulbs. Right. Plus, you can't hardly find them anywhere. I mean, nobody's going to.
No, thank God. Eventually, they're going to be gone.
And if you're like, oh, I don't like the light from it. Newsflash, they come in different tones.
And that's the hardest part to learn. I mean, for me, I'm old school. I'm used to incandescent. I'm used to metal halide.
Yeah.
So.
Which was really bright and hot.
And hot.
Things ran hot. Yeah.
So now we have to go to LED. So I had to relearn all this. So the biggest thing is, I always remember 3000K is what you want for your house. That's the reddish, the incandescent type look. And then you work up to 4,000 or 5,000. Well, now you're in the white light.
Yeah.
Like we use for commercial.
Yep.
And that people don't understand that. They run to Menards and just buy that LED. And then they get home and it's white.
Yeah.
And it's, this is so bad. It makes me look so bad in the mirror.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you got to look at that K value.
Kind.
Yeah, they're all different.
And it's some of it's personal preference.
It is. Yeah, some people like that white. Yeah. I don't like
white.
it. Yeah.
I don't like the super. I like the little softer.
It makes you look sick.
Yeah. I like the little softer, kind of more an outdoor light, hue. But they come in all different hues and colors and texture and tones.
You can actually, So, for example, my son has, we bought him a Christmas present for his car.
Yeah.
Lights that go underneath.
Sure.
He can adjust those lights under his car. They're all LED. Mm-hmm. Just turning a knob, and it changes all the color of the rainbow.
Yep.
Every different color by just turning that.
It's like these guys back here. So this guy, he comes with a little remote control.
Yes.
I can change the color to whatever I want.
Exactly.
Even if I just want to go with white, I can change the hue and tone and stuff. The beauty of LED bulbs, people.
It is. It really is amazing.
The possibilities are endless. But the main thing is you're saving $1. You're saving
big bucks.
A lot of bucks.
Yeah, big bucks.
It's definitely worth putting in the effort to switch out those bulbs. And if you don't want to do it yourself, if you have high bulbs, you can always call a qualified electrician, Meyers Electric. Their information is also up on our website, helpfulhomeinspector.com. You can get their information there, whether you want to email Bill or you want to give them a call to set up an appointment. Give them a jingle. They'd be happy to come out and help you with your project. Now, as far as pricing for electricians go, I know it's gone up because labor's gone up. It's just
correct. Well, material is outrageous. That's our labor hasn't gone up much. Unfortunately, I wish it has.
Yeah,
but the labor cost or the material costs have gone up so much that you got to keep the labor in check just to keep it fair.
Keep it fair for the customer.
Yeah. So you got to. We have to charge more for the material. It's terrible. But our service calls are $90.
Oh, okay.
So we're there for an hour.
$90, van in your driveway. That's your pays for your first hour.
And then we charge a trip charge depending on your location from our office.
If you're too far away.
It's staggered as the farther out from Delafield you go.
And obviously plus then materials come into play and stuff like that. But very reasonably priced. When you think about the fact that if you do it wrong, you could end up in the hospital. You could burn your house down. There's all kinds of bad stuff. If you're not a talented handy person, you should not be messing around with electricity or gas. Those things kill you. Okay. If you want to screw up your toilet and mess up some plumbing,
that's fine.
Nobody's gonna die. Okay. But when it comes to electric and gas, you definitely want to avoid those kinds of things. Question up on the board: how long have you been in business?
So we've been in business my entire life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm 52, and my dad started our business back in '62. So my dad decided to go on his own in 62, and he was an electrician way back.
Which takes guts.
Yep. Yeah. So he started us out in 62. I bought him after I got out of college. So I went to Madison, graduated with a business degree, and then I put myself through school doing this, working for Dad.
Yep.
And then in 92, I decided to buy him out.
Sure.
So obviously, it took many years to buy him out, but he was pretty much out of the business when I was 24.
Yeah.
And he retired and never looked back.
There you go.
Because I don't blame him.
Yeah.
And then I've been doing it since I got my master's license for electrical when I was 24 years old, one of the youngest one in the state.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
I was proud of that. Yeah. And then
How many folks you got working for you today?
Oh, I don't know. I bet you 31, I guess.
31.
Yeah.
Whew. It's a lot of people to keep track of.
It gives and takes. We've been as big as 80 to 90.
Yeah.
But 30 is about the perfect range.
Yeah. Comfortable.
It's quality control in our business. You got to really watch every guy that works for you and make sure they're going to do the way you want it done.
Yep. Yeah. That's your reputation.
It is.
And
got many years.
Like I tell my guys, I'm like, guys, all it takes is one of us to screw it up for all of us.
That's right.
And so we've got when I'm bugging you about punctuation in your reports and stuff like that, know that it's just a reflection of all of us, even though it's just your report. You know what I mean? So anything that's got our name on it, anything that's got your name on it, you want to make sure that it's done right. And to manage people takes time, effort.
It does.
That takes a lot.
Yeah, we talk to all the guys every day wondering what happened here, how'd it go here, double check this.
Yeah.
And no one's perfect.
Yeah.
It's like I always tell everybody makes mistakes. Mm-hmm. It's how do you handle your mistakes?
Being a human.
That's right.
Yeah.
Can you handle your mistakes? Can you go back and fix them? Can you remedy it to make everybody happy?
You can make it right.
That's all that counts.
Yeah. Well, and home inspectors, people think we're perfect.
Yeah.
It's like,
there's no way.
Perfect. No
one's perfect.
We do the best we can. We try to see everything we can, but you know what? I don't have extra vision. I can't tell the future. There's going to be things that I didn't catch the first time around. Maybe I'll catch it the second time around. But, the thing is hiring is the highest quality person you can so that, your mistakes are smaller and less frequent.
Well, and it's hard to pick out that person because if you've never met that person before, how do you know they're going to do a good job?
Yep.
I mean, I always tell people it's like, what is that? 60 years of business. Yeah. We're still here.
We're still hanging out. Yeah, we did something right.
We did something right. Yeah. Obviously, we haven't pissed off too many people.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I guess you kind of look, when I hire someone, I look at the longevity because if they've been here that long, the newer companies I feel bad for because how do they get reputation? Yeah. You got to get your foot out there, but
yeah. If you don't have that time out there,
it's hard to get people to call you. But I always say, if people have been here this long, we've dealt with. I've seen it all. I can almost say that. Yeah. We did the domes down in Milwaukee.
Sure.
All the new greenhouses.
Before they're crumbling and falling apart.
Well, they built new greenhouses next to them.
Yeah.
I mean, millions of dollars of greenhouses, and we did all that electrical on that. So that's a very unique project.
Oh yeah.
I mean, all the watering systems, and so that's something that where would you ever do that? Yeah. That's a city job. So yeah. From that to farms we work on, from homes to
apartment
buildings to industrial factories.
Sure. It's great. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's neat. It's neat to see.
What's the biggest project you ever worked on?
Oh my gosh. I bet you it was probably the domes. Those greenhouses were probably the biggest dollar. Yeah. But we're doing a 103 unit apartment building right now, and it's in Menominee Falls, and it's really outstanding because they're building it like a resort.
Oh, okay.
It's got a huge indoor swimming pool.
Where is it? This isn't over by the Costco there, is it?
No. This is where the golf course is there? What is that little
Silver Spring?
Nope. The other one.
In Menominee Falls.
It's right on the border of Menominee Falls and Brookfield, kind of. Yeah, but anyway, they have a huge common space for the elderly that they can swim. There's a golf simulator.
Really? There's a golf simulator?
Wanakee.
Yeah. That was like up for sale for a little bit.
Yeah.
And now it's back up
right
and
past Wanakee is this monster project.
Yeah.
And it's probably one of our unique ones. It's really super cool.
Like a resort. Holy cow.
Yeah. So we're halfway through it right now, and that's a pretty big project.
Yeah, that's cool. Very good.
We do lots of those.
The next thing we're going to get into is our main topic for the day. So the main topic for today is electrical safety in your home. And we're going to talk a little bit about how to make your house safer. We're going to talk about things that should be in your house, things that shouldn't be in your house, and give you a little bit of insight how to make your home more electrically safe for you and your family. So electrical hazards in the home. The biggest one that everybody thinks about is electrical shock, right?
Correct.
Electrical shock, and the main thing with electrical shock to keep in mind is that 1 milliamp of electricity across your heart can cause a heart attack or heart arrhythmia and could lead to death. So electrical shock's pretty serious, okay? We also have fire risk with the electrical safety that's installed in all our fixtures and things like that. A lot of that has been mitigated, so we don't have as many electrical fires as we used to, thankfully. But through stupidity, we can still cause electrical fires. Okay, and by stupidity, I really mean ignorance. Okay, and not understanding or not knowing. Okay,
extension cords.
Yeah, I mean the ignorance that people have out there as far as a total understanding of electrical safety is very, very low. And so for that reason alone, you shouldn't be doing too much of your own electrical work, okay? If you want to replace a light fixture and you're extremely handy, cool, go for it. If you're not, you either need to educate yourself a lot and put a lot of time into educating yourself about that before you take on that project, or you need to call a professional, which would be the better way to go. Okay. Not only is you're assured that the fixture is going to be installed correctly, okay, and safely, but you're not having to do all the running around all the time and all the effort and all the things that go along with the learning part of it.
Well, that's a lot of what people don't understand is the material aspect behind this, to run around and find that and get the right part. It takes so much time. Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah. And when you don't realize what you're doing, it's 10 trips back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean,
that's like me doing plumbing. Back and forth from Home Depot. It's like, oh my God.
Instead of getting it all done the first time. How much are you spending? Your time's worth money.
It is.
And basically when you're looking at electrical work, things are not as cheap as you might think. So,
I mean, to do a light fixture isn't the end of the world because you can turn the switch off.
You can turn the switch off.
And the power's off.
Yep.
And you know it.
Yep. You can turn the breaker off.
Yep. Or you can turn the breaker off. But 9 times out of 10, I'll get people calling me, my husband changed that light this weekend, and now the whole kitchen's out.
Yeah.
We need light. Can you please come today?
Yeah. Because
he mixed up a wire. It's something very simple.
Yep.
That messes you up.
Yeah, or replace an outlet, and now none of my whole living room doesn't work anymore, and it's because they're all wired in series, and you mess one up, and then
and you don't know who wired the house before. Yep. They might not have done it right.
Yeah,
and so now your colors that you're looking on YouTube video don't match, and now they mess up a color of the wire because the other electrician didn't.
And now nothing turns on.
Now nothing turns on.
Yeah,
and so then we're there fixing it, and it's harder, and so it's just easier. Give us a call right away.
Yeah, give them a call. Get it in. That's how far out are you guys booking?
I have 2 weeks.
2 weeks. That's not bad.
No, it was 3 months.
Yeah, considering the labor shortages and stuff like that, so 2 weeks is not bad at all.
We have caught up.
Yeah. But definitely something that you don't want to mess around with when it comes to electrical safety. So one of the things with electrical safety is grounding. It's a thing that's commonly misunderstood. Okay, a lot of people don't know a lot about grounding and why grounding is important and things like that. If you have a 2-prong outlet in your house, okay, and you have a 3-prong device like television,
stereo, radio,
you don't plug that into the outlet because there's 3 prongs, right? So some people are going out and get these bypass connectors, right? You're eliminating an important piece of that device and putting your new $1,400 television at risk because you bought this little thing that, now I can get power to it. Yes, but now you don't have any place for any excess electrons to go. They're going to go back into the device and they're going to fry the device.
You got it. So especially lightning or surge.
Lightning surge. I mean, and while here in the United States, our electrical grid is much more stable than elsewhere in the world. It still has surges and fluctuations occasionally, and that
the time
that could damage your device, and that's where this grounding comes into play. The grounding also will help in the event of electrified, canister screws, all that kind of stuff that might be in there as well to save your life. Okay, but with grounding, it's something that's essential and it needs to be done properly. And if you don't have a good ground on your outlet, if you don't have a good ground on the house, if you don't have a good ground at the electrical panel, it's a system that all has to work correctly together. Now, you can screw up one piece of that grounding and you screw it up for everything else.
It's very serious because, so for example, a ground goes from your electrical box also to your water bond, your plumbing system, and hopefully out to your well and into the ground. That's the best ground.
Yeah.
If let's say someone moves into your house and cuts that wire, and now you don't have a ground on your house, period.
Yeah.
Now you don't have anywhere for that excess electricity to go to ground out. So it can electrify your whole home.
Mm-hmm. Or people had those grounding rods outside,
Yep.
You see some pipe sticking out of the ground with the wire and you just disconnect it because it's in your way when you're cutting grass. You just eliminate the ground from your house.
So if lightning hits your house, anything, or if you have a short, it'll heat up all the metal parts that it's touching. It could heat up your faucet. I mean, I remember years ago, I plugged in my Sawzall back when we plugged tools in, and I went to touch the pipe that I was going to cut, and it was sparking.
Oh, that's not a good sign.
No,
that's not a good sign.
The pipe was hot.
That's not what you want. Yeah.
So thank God I was there, and we fixed it. We found it. The ground was cut.
Yeah.
And that was it. I remember one time at a restaurant, we had their counter. It was a stainless steel counter, and the kids were touching it when they were prepping food.
Oh, okay.
And if they touch that counter in a different pipe,
they got electrified.
Not good. And it was 110.
Yeah.
I got there and I put my meter on it.
At least it's 110.
The table had pushed against a floor outlet.
Oh, and electrified the table.
Yeah.
Oh. So, but if
that table were grounded, It would have solved. It would have tripped the circuit.
Yeah.
But who would ground the table?
Who would think to ground the table? But if it bumped against the outlet, the canister of the outlet
should have thrown. But it's just a certain way
sometimes
it did.
Happens. Yeah,
it's serious.
Yeah. Now, we're not going to geek out on it too much, but there is the thing that's closely related to grounding called bonding, and that's basically just making sure we have continuity through the ground, right? Yes. Okay. But you don't really need to worry about bonding unless you're an electrician or a home inspector.
That's
or
pools.
A pool. Yeah. But when you hear bonding and grounding, just worry about the grounding part. Oh, a generator? Yeah. Generators are something that you guys are selling a lot of these days.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've, in our entire life of doing this, I bet you these past 2 years, I've sold more generators than we have in the entire business.
Now we're talking about
in-home,
house standby ones, right?
Whole house, automatic, natural gas generators.
Yeah.
And it's nonstop.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nonstop. So these generators are going to run your entire house. So if power goes out, it'll blink. The lights are going to go out for like 5 seconds, and the generator kicks in, automatically jumps power over to the house. Your whole house is back up and running like nothing ever happened.
That's great.
You can hear it out there. It sounds like someone's mowing the lawn.
Yep.
But
they run on natural gas.
And it's natural gas, so you don't have to worry about going and putting gas. Yeah. The gas going bad. Over time.
Yep.
They are ideal.
Yeah. And even if the power goes out, it's still going to operate because natural gas is still running.
Correct.
Pipes underground.
Yeah, natural gas always will run. So that's it. They're very stable. They were out a year with the supply chain issues.
Sure.
But now they're all caught back up. Problem is the prices all went up so high. Yeah. I mean, I think the prices went.
Looking at, I
bet you an install on a 20 kW to run your whole house.
Okay.
Automatic transfer switch, a normal install with your gas and electric near each other.
Yeah.
10, 11,000, something like that. So not the end of the world, but
no. And they vary based on the size of the house, though, too, right?
You can get smaller. I mean, that's the average because they go up as high as 26K.
Okay.
That's
gonna be a big house.
It's a bigger house.
Yeah. Or commercial. Commercial would be even bigger than that.
Yeah, well, you go up to 36.
Yeah.
That's 400 amps. So, but those are liquid cooled. That's a little car engine.
Yeah.
So these are all air cooled. It keeps the cost down. Mm-hmm. And then you can go down as low as 8 kW. Tiny. And then you just do a little sub panel and it runs your incidentals.
Yeah.
Freezer, furnace.
Yeah.
A couple lights.
And along with the generator thing, you need a transfer. That brings up the transfer switch.
Correct.
Right? You have to have the ability to switch over to the generator to power your system. And even if you don't want to get a whole house generator, okay, Meyers Electric could come out and put a bypass switch in for you so that when
portable,
you can you plug your portable generator in outside, you flip the switch over, and it now powers not all of your house. A portable system is not going to power the whole house, but you can keep your refrigerator running, you can keep your furnace running, you can freezer running, and you can hook up these essential items. Sump pump,
sump pumps.
During storms when the power does go out, it's usually during a storm, right?
Yep.
So bypass switches are an important piece of that too. So generators, bypass switches, that's something.
Well, and you can go as low. I mean, like I always tell people, that's the Cadillac, all automatic.
Yep.
You can drop it to a portable. You go buy yourself a little portable Honda.
Yeah.
Put it in your garage. We put an outlet on the outside house. You plug it in, and that's you're looking at $2,000.
Yeah.
And it's all manual. You go down, flip the switch.
Yep.
But there's always all different options.
Lots of different options in there. That you don't need to be inconvenienced, but like we had sometimes this summer when we had some of those storms last summer.
Everybody was out for days,
2 or 3 days.
Yeah,
that's no fun. I mean, granted, the power did come back on. It wasn't like we were out for a week or anything like that, but still 2 or 3 days of electricity.
Well, the big thing is most of my customers they have places down south.
Sure,
they want to know that their house is covered when they're gone.
And they don't have to worry about
during the winter.
Yeah,
so
that they're not going to lose all their meat from hunting season or whatever. Yeah.
So those are the main people that, hey, I want my house covered when I'm gone, that the furnace kicks on and off.
Yeah.
And
do it automatically.
Peace of mind. Yeah, we do Generac, Briggs & Stratton, Kohler.
Yeah.
Cummins.
Cummins has one.
Well, those are big commercials.
Okay. I'm like, I haven't seen any of those around the houses I'm inspecting.
No, those are commercial ones. So those are...
Usually we see the Generac ones and we see Kohler. I haven't seen a lot of Briggs.
Briggs are the big ones now because the customer service Briggs has for dealers. Oh, and very good.
And local.
Yeah. So Briggs and Generac, very, very comparable. Yeah. Same unit. I always say the same. Yeah. Generac, we actually wired the first Generac factory. In Wales.
Yeah, he actually works there. He's a
really?
He's a sales rep. Yeah.
Yeah, Bob Kern was my dad's good friend. He started Generac.
Yeah, actually, Bob's kids work there too. Bob, Ben's a mechanical engineer there. Yeah.
So we go. My dad and Mr. Kern, he's gone. He passed away now, but I grew up with Generac in our backyard.
Sure.
And so now they're huge.
They have a plant. No, is that quite Wales?
It's North Prairie. Yeah. Yeah, that was their first one. And they started in Wales. They rented a building right by my dad, and that's where they first started.
Sure.
So
yeah, having coffee.
Yeah.
There you go. Cool beans. All right. Now, as far as electrical safety in your home, there's always the discussion of volts and amps. Which one's more dangerous?
Amps,
right? Yeah, volts is basically the volts isn't bad. Volts like what pushes the electricity. Right. The amps are the actual zap.
Well, and it's the unbalanced load, so it's coming out of that machine, and it can zap you. That's what's going to kill you. The volts are fine. I mean, that's 110 volts. It's not going to hurt. Yeah, it shocks you, literally. But it's not going to hurt you. I mean, everybody's been zapped a couple times.
Oh yeah. And don't
open that neutral.
At least it's 110. Yeah, 220 gets a little bit more serious. You're gonna know it at 220. Yep. At 110, you might just feel like pulsing or something like that. Yeah.
It all depends because the electricity is gonna close your muscles.
Yep.
So I always, it's like a horse fence, Don't grab onto the horse fence. Yeah. You will stick to it because your muscles contract.
Let go. Yeah.
Tap it with the back of your hand first, and then you're.
Yeah. Well, and that's with the electrical panel too. I mean,
same thing.
Yeah. So as an electrician, as a home inspector, we know that we touch the back of the panel on the can, which is the metal part of the outside of the electrical panel. We touch the back of our hand to that first, because if it's electrified, our hand's gonna contract. And if I'm grabbing the handle or something and it happens, then I'm holding on to that and I'm not letting go. Yeah.
Until someone gets you off.
Exactly. So touch it with the back of your hand. Even if you do get electrified, you fall away from it, and you're not going to be continuing to get electrified. So if you're going to operate your electrical panel, so you say you think you're confident enough, do you want to change the light fixture on your own? Cool. Go down the electrical panel, make sure the panel is not hot by touching it with the back of your hand before you go in there to turn your breakers off.
And that would be hot because your grounding's messed up.
Yeah. Yep.
It all leads back to that.
Exactly, because your grounding is attached to the can on the inside. So if that's screwed up, then the can's going to be hot. Correct. So always as a home inspector, we want to make sure they do that. But even as a homeowner, you're going in there to turn the breaker off to if you want to change an outlet or change a fixture or something like that. Or if there's a problem and you want to turn the power off, you got to make sure to always touch that with the back of your hand before you go and operate that door. So the next thing we're going to get into is AFCI and GFCI. So GFCI is older, has been around a lot longer. AFCI is a much more recent regulation, and
very recent.
Shelf down. I don't know if you guys got to see that. The whole shelf took off on me. It was one of those IKEA shelves. So we got Sasquatch down there. So what we've got here is the NEC code book. Okay,
that's our Bible.
Look at that monster.
That's what
Holy cow. That's a lot of pages of code and regulation. And it's not little print.
No. that
not
tells
big
us
print. Yeah.
That tells us everything. And that's what my test was on, that entire book.
That's crazy.
That's what we have to know.
And people think that us as home inspectors know all of this.
There's no way.
No. That's why
and plumbing is like that. Heating's like that.
Yeah. And
you can't know it all.
I think that when it comes to building code and regulation and stuff, it's important, but a little overdone occasionally.
Very.
Okay. And
there's a lot of extra fat in there.
Yeah. And a lot of times when they're making changes to the NEC or any code book, they come up with new code books every 2 years, basically. Okay. They're adding things in, I think, sometimes just to sell more books.
Sell the product.
Someone
invents this, we need to put this outlet, AFCI, and we can sell 1 million of them now because it's in the book.
Because it's in the book. You got to have, and they're expensive.
Yep.
Yeah, they're very expensive. So as far as the AFCI breakers, they're a newer regulation, and basically, we had electrical inspector come and he looked at our panel and he's like, "Oh, they should all be AFCI breakers." I'm like, "Really, dude? The whole panel? Come on, And
it's overdone.
Yeah, originally what it was intention to protect bedrooms and things like that. And the biggest thing with AFCI breakers is that they were in your panel. Okay, and they were not something that is a point of use item, like a GFCI is a point of use item.
Correct.
Used to be in your panel, like you could still find some older homes.
Yeah, you can, and you still can put them in the panel.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Just not as often.
Well, the problem is the breakers are more expensive than the outlets.
Yeah.
So we prefer to do an outlet over the breaker because it's half the price.
Sure.
So it all comes down to cost.
What does the GFCI stand for? So GFCI is ground fault circuit interrupter. AFCI is a arc fault circuit interrupter.
So the arc fault protects the neutral wire.
Yep.
GFCI is just point of use, like you said. It's not for the neutral. So what they're doing is a breaker protects the hot wire.
Yeah.
At the source there at the breaker.
Mm-hmm.
Now they want to protect the neutral, the back feed.
Yep.
And that's what these breakers are doing.
Yeah.
All because of...
That's why they have the extra neutral.
You got it. And there. So I always say it's because there was 1 in a million.
All it takes is one.
Yeah, 1 in a million. That's some siding guy on a house screwed through the siding into a neutral wire.
Yep.
And that neutral wire must have festered over year after year after year with that little scrape on it and eventually caught fire.
Yeah. And you wouldn't have detected it
never.
Without some sort of arc fault circuit interrupter.
So you put an arc fault breaker on there, now that neutral's protected, it would have tripped when that screw went through it instantly and it would have never burned that house down.
Yeah.
The odds of neutral burning a house down are so slim to none though.
Yeah.
I think what happened was lightning hit the house and that neutral caught on fire. It was a crazy story. Yeah. But here we are.
With arc faults, a very sensitive device as well. So very sensitive. And it's there to protect you. Like if you are hanging a picture and you put a nail into the wall and you pierce a wire.
Yeah, the neutral.
Yeah, a neutral wire. It's ultimately, you're not going to notice it at the fixture or anything like that unless you have an arc fault circuit interrupter.
Correct.
So if you did tap into that wire, the breaker would turn off. So the breaker would go to probably the halfway position, right?
Yep.
And you would go down to the basement and you would try to reset it, but it wouldn't.
Usually you can trip them by hitting them.
Oh yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
They trip halfway.
Yep.
And then make sure you shut it all the way off.
Yep.
And back on. 9 times out of 10, people don't shut them all the way off and it doesn't reset.
Oh, okay.
Then they're calling me. I turned my breaker back on, but it's not working.
Yeah.
Try it again. Go down your basement. Turn it all the way off as hard as you can.
Yeah.
And then it trips and back on.
And sometimes the fixture can turn it off if the fixture has some pulsing in it or something like that. But if it does turn off and you go downstairs and you try to turn it back on and it won't stay on, then you did damage the wire and you need either a new breaker or we got to find out where you damaged the wire. Yeah.
Now, I don't want to scare people that they have to have arc faults.
Yeah.
You don't have to have these things.
You don't have to go and install them all.
No, so your breakers in your house are covering you. If you screw into the wall and hit your hot wire, which is the important one,
that's going
the breaker's going to trip even though you don't have arc fault.
Yep.
The arc fault only protects the neutral wire. And that wire, it doesn't have any power on it anyway unless it's under load. Yeah, it's the ground. So the fact, I don't like to sell people on being scared.
Yeah.
So you don't need the arc faults. It's just extra precaution.
Extra protection, yeah.
That's all.
Yep.
So don't run out and change all your panel breakers to arc fault. They're very expensive. I think they're 50
bucks a piece. Yeah. The one thing that I do, like when I'm in a home inspection and I come across these, I do advise people to test them because I'm required to.
Yep.
But the manufacturer says test them once a month. If you're testing these things once a month,
you're going to wear them out.
You're going to wear them out. It's a mechanical device. Yeah, it will wear out and you'll have to replace it just because you were doing what the manufacturer said. And that suggestion came from the person who manufactures them and sells them and makes a bunch of money off.
You got it.
So I would suggest, we talk a lot about on this channel about a 6-month maintenance cycle. So every 6 months, change your furnace filter, check your radon system, system, walk around your foundation, make sure everything's good, walk around the outside of your house, look at your roof. It doesn't take a lot to check your house every 6 months. And
alarms.
Test your smoke alarms and stuff. Yeah, I mean, smoke alarms, they say test
10
once
years.
a month too.
Well, smoke alarms have a date on them.
Yep.
So if you question your smoke alarm, just take off the smoke alarm, look at the back, and it's got a date. It says it expires on this date.
Yep.
It's usually 10 years.
10 years.
Take it off, throw it away, put a new one
Well, and today the new ones are coming with sealed lithium-ion batteries that you don't have to worry about changing the batteries. But after 10 years, it's going to let you know.
They get dusty, and they false trip.
Yep, but after 10 years, the new ones have a little thing in it that automatically go off, and they start going crazy. And the only way to stop it is to
change it,
get rid of it, throw it away, throw it in the dump.
And they're cheap, really, for what your safety is.
Oh yeah, it'd be like in that Friends episode where Phoebe's trying to turn off her smoke detector and it won't turn off, and it's in pieces and it starts beeping again on her. So basically with AFCI breakers, test them once every 6 months, okay, and they're basically just an extra precaution. Usually, you only find them in new homes, as it's a requirement of NEC in order to pass building inspection in a new home. They're going to have them in there, but it's not something to run out and start putting all in your house and stuff like that. Now, on the other hand, GFCIs are something that you want to make sure that you have in your house, and this is an important safety device because it prevents electrical shock.
Correct. Yeah, that's when you drop your hairdryer in a wet sink or a tub.
Yep.
This will stop you. You will not feel it.
No, and I always say
instant.
It's protection for husbands and kids because the wives aren't going to make this mistake. Okay, so your wife gets a new curling iron, razor, whatever, and it's sitting on the counter. You're shaving or whatever. You dump it into the sink. Your initial reaction, no matter who you are, no matter how well educated you are, you cannot reach in there and grab it, even though it's something you're going to want to do because if you don't have a GFCI protection in there, you're going to get electrocuted. Yeah. So the old movie where the guy's in the bathtub and then jumps the toaster in to kill himself or whatever, that couldn't happen as long as there's GFCI protection there.
These are so protective. Like I said, when I was taking my Sawzall and plugging it in and touching the pipe, if that would have been GFCI'd,
it wouldn't have been.
It just would have sparked a second, and off it goes. Yep. It's instantaneous. You cannot feel a shock from a GFCI.
You'll be more scared by the button tripping.
Yeah, you're right.
From any electrical shock. Have you done security systems? Do you guys install security systems?
Well, we do. I don't advertise it.
Yeah.
And there's certain things where you just we know exactly how to install them. On the big buildings that we do, we do everything. We do camera systems. We do the door entry systems on these buildings. We do Wi-Fi stuff. I mean, it's all integrated, and we do all the CAD 6 wire. Well, CAD 6 is the new. It used to be CAD 5, so we can do all data, computer wiring. But the security stuff, it's actually quite simple. It's low voltage.
Yeah, it's all low voltage.
We definitely can do it. We just you always have to have a security provider to monitor it. So usually those people just do it. Yeah. So we don't get into it too deep, but I definitely can do it.
Yeah. When I was in college, I actually did wiring for. It was what was the company? They're out of Madison, but we wired up schools for Wi-Fi and stuff because it was a new thing.
Sure.
And Ethernet and cable and all that kind of stuff in all the rooms. And we were working right alongside all the electric. All of our raceway and everything we put in was all the same stuff. The electrician was going in. It was all side by side. So it's something that would make sense.
Yeah.
But there's so many little things.
That's the thing. You gotta pick. I mean, see, I'm licensed for refrigeration, for air conditioning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did all that when I was a kid because my dad, we did it all.
Yeah.
And it's like back in the day, we used to do it all. Garage door openers.
Yeah.
Well, when I took over, I figured, you know what? I know how to do all this stuff, but I can't get employees that know how to do it all.
Yeah.
So then I had to limit it. I said, let's do one thing and do it well.
Yeah, because you want to be able to send any of your guys out to do any job.
Right.
That's just what you need to be able to do, schedule things,
So I limited it down to the electrical and stuck with that.
So long and short is yes.
Yes.
But
if you have electrical and you want us to come and look at your security, we can do it.
He's not jumping at it, though.
Right. I'm not going to jump at it.
If you call them and need them, they'll be happy to come on and help you.
But I can refer great people too.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. You know who the guys are in the industry. Correct. But GFCI is very important to have in your kitchens and bathrooms is the main place that I recommend them. If you're going to go and refer to NEC, they want them in basements, outside, garage. They want them absolutely everywhere.
Wherever there's water.
Yeah.
If you're going to take a cord and put it in water,
or near water.
Near water. Yep. Consider having a GFI.
Yep. Recently we had a contractor coming at us because it was a brand new build, and we called out that there was no GFCI in the laundry room, and he's like, well, because there's no laundry tub, it doesn't need to have GFCI in there. But now that used to be right.
Yep.
But now the rule is, no matter what, if there's water within 6 feet of an electrical source, it must be GFCI protected, whether there's a laundry tub or.
I don't even think it's 6 feet anymore. I think it's the whole room.
Is it the whole room has to be? Yeah.
Like kitchens, it used to be 6 feet from the sink. It's everything now.
No, it's everything. Okay, sure. Yeah. GFCI's $15.
Yeah.
To get a good one.
They used to be. But my numbers are all off.
It depends on the quality.
I'm sure they've gone up.
Yeah, it depends on the quality that you're purchasing and stuff too. But I mean, if you're planning on $15 to $25 an outlet for GFCI, probably correct. Right. Now, in most cases in a home, they like in a kitchen, we can use one or two of them just.
Well, what you can do is you can there's an in and an out.
Yep.
So you got line in your load, so you can run through that as a circuit breaker.
Yeah.
So now we go right down line. You put one in your kitchen, make sure it's the first one in line, and all the outlets will be GFCI'd based on the first one in line. So you don't have to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
you don't have to have 15 of them,
right?
Because we do have a lot of outlets in our kitchens these days, But if you protect that series in the first one, the one closest to the electrical panel, all the rest of them downstream from that will be protected.
You got it. They run right off that.
Yep. But you still have to make sure you're following the rules as far as how many circuits and outlets.
And you got to know which line is in.
Yep.
Load out, for power in, power out.
Exactly. So that's AFCIs and GFCIs. Circuit breakers we talked about in there. What about surge protectors?
So that's like an insurance policy. You either want it or you don't. Do you need it? Do you not?
If you have a very expensive computer,
I would have one,
it'd be
but
worth it.
Surge protection kind of gets me because it's up in the air. So, of course, all the people that sell surge protectors are going to tell you, got to have a surge protector. It's going to protect everything.
Yeah.
I've seen surge protectors blown off the wall.
Really?
From lightning.
Yeah.
So what good did they do?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
They blew right off the wall. So
what about those whole panel ones?
Same thing. Those are the one I've seen blown off. So we install them all. But the problem is if lightning hits your home, it depends where it hits.
Yeah.
If it hits your home, it's going to blow that surge protector apart. And it's everything in your house is wrecked. It's so great of energy force. Yeah. Nothing's going to stop it.
Nothing's going to stop it. Yeah.
Surge protection covers light surges.
Yeah.
Very minimal. And so they do their job, but usually you want to protect against lightning or something major. Yeah. It won't protect.
It's going to still fry.
It's going to fry.
Now, with lightning and stuff, some people put these rods on their roof,
Yeah, they attract the lightning.
Yeah, I'm like, you're attracting it intentionally.
But there's two schools of thought. So I've installed a lot of those in the past and the old barns and stuff.
Sure, yeah.
It takes, so those lightning rods, we hook wires from the rod all the way down to the ground rod in the ground. So you're diverting the energy.
So hopefully it doesn't. Yeah.
So some people say you're attracting it and you're bringing it to your barn, which they're right.
Yeah.
Some people say you're taking what would have hit your barn anyway and diverted it instead of burning your barn down. So I've seen barns burn right to the ground with lightning rods.
Yeah.
Hit by lightning.
Yeah. Now, these lightning rods, folks, if you ever looked at the peak of a roof, they look like little copper spikes that are sticking up in the air.
Yeah, like a church steeple.
Yep. And then there'll be a thick copper wire usually running all the way down to the ground, hooked into a grounding rod that's supposed to be tamped 8 to 10 feet into the ground and hopefully diverting the electricity. But
in our area, ground rods don't do much good because our ground's not wet.
Yeah.
We have gravel and sand.
Yeah.
There's no moisture. So a ground rod does no good in dry soil. Yeah. So you're not taking and diverting that energy properly.
And you're not going to hook up to the gas line.
No.
You're not going to find a water line outside to hook it up to. I mean,
I've
seen somebody. Oh yeah, if you hook it up to the well casing, I've seen some people try to put them on exterior spigots, but I'm like, that's not going to work. Yeah.
Because now the whole house is PVC.
Yeah.
So there's copper grounding anymore in your house, PEX, right?
Yeah.
So 2 schools of thought. You do what you want.
Yeah. Now, as far as electricity goes, we do have a lot of older homes in southeastern Wisconsin. There's arguments on both sides of it. Knob and tube wiring. I've heard people that, there's nothing really wrong with knob and tube. It works great. It's been outstanding.
My dad would swear by it.
Yeah.
Knob and tube is the safest wiring out there. It is because you have no neutral and ground carried with it.
Yeah.
So you will not get a shock from it because you're not going to get grounded. So for example, a new house, we have that ground and neutral all in one box. Mm-hmm. You put your hand in there, I guarantee you every time you go in that box, you're going to get zapped because you got the ground right there.
Yeah.
Knob and tube never had that ground. The hot was separate. The neutral was separate. You never got to touch both.
Yeah, where you could get electrocuted.
Yeah, so my dad always swore by it. He's like, that is the safest system out there.
Yeah.
Of course, it wasn't properly, fuse panels and stuff. It wasn't properly done.
Yeah, the concept of it is correct.
Yeah.
It was correct, and it was great, and it did its thing. It was
breakers.
Inconvenient installation.
Yes.
It doesn't work with circuit breakers. It only worked with fuses. Okay. And the wiring that they used was a cloth fabric wiring that just
deteriorated and breaks off.
Yep. And then they use a tar tape, to put joints together instead of like wire nuts and
solder.
Stuff. Those other things are the problems with knob and tube wiring.
Yeah.
The knob and tube wiring concept system isn't the problem. It's the elements of it that were the problem.
Yeah. So it's the pennies in the fuse panels.
Yeah.
It's not circuit breaking the wire properly.
Yeah. Yep. So
it's
knob and tube, not all bad,
but you definitely have to change it out.
Yeah, you definitely got to upgrade.
It's not something you're going to leave in your house.
Yep.
It's got to go.
It's got to go. And it's difficult to replace because it's in your walls.
Very difficult.
And
so usually someone like you will go in there and, hey, your attic's full of it, your basement's full of it. So we go in and we get it out of the basements, we get it out of the attics. We can't get it out of the walls.
Yeah.
Until you remodel that room.
Yep.
Then change it out.
Then you can pull new wire.
Yeah. So we stop at the walls and just reuse it unless you open up the walls, but the cost is so significant, it's not worth it.
Yeah, the labor.
The labor.
It's just
it's
not the materials, it's the labor.
Yeah, in that case,
hours and hours of doing it. We were down in during college again. We were down in Milwaukee around UWM at some of those old, historical houses and stuff, and we were remodeling some of them, tearing out the plaster walls and stuff like that, and the guys wanted to run wire through, and these houses were balloon framed, so that was a piece of cake, because it was all open, but that was a fire hazard in itself, but when you look at newer residential construction at basically 1930s on, there's going to be blocking and bracing and bottom plates and top plates and all this other type of stuff that you can't get around.
God, no.
Without tearing apart the wall, Yeah,
so we got to cut and by the time you pay our labor, it's cheaper to open up the wall.
Yeah.
You can pay a drywall guy to come in and patch that very cheap.
Yep.
Reasonably. Mm-hmm. Whereas you're paying us double him to sit there for hours trying to fish one wall to save a little patch.
Yep.
Just cut the hole
in the wall, get it done.
We cut the hole big enough where we can screw the panel right back on. Yeah. Then the guy just has to mud up the edges.
And drywall is easy to fix.
It is. It really is.
So along with the knob and tube, fuses is something you definitely want to look at getting rid of. So we're talking about these guys.
Yeah.
You can still get them at the store. You can still buy them, and they're upgraded a little bit. They're still are what they are, though. They can be bypassed, Fuses, again, another great technology. Works when it's needed to work.
Back
it
in
works.
The day.
Yeah, it functions, and it didn't go bad.
No.
And that kind of stuff. But it was too many people did too many bad things with them, and the insurance industry got wind of it. And
so I had a job one time. God, this goes back to me probably being 13, 14 years old. I'd run around with my dad, and so my dad, we went to a house one time, and they were complaining that they smelled smoke in the house. So my dad says, go up in the bedrooms, check all the lamp cords.
Yeah.
So I ran around, checked all the lamp cords, and I went and grabbed this one extension cord that was laying on the floor in the carpet.
Yeah.
And it melted in my hand. No. It burned my hand. And it was laying in the carpet. So the whole carpet was all melted right up to that lamp. So there was something wrong with the lamp. In the fuse panel was a penny.
Yeah.
Someone put a penny behind the fuse, which then it bypasses the fuse's capability to blow. we saved the house from burning down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If that's under the carpet like that?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was
well, and that's like
all melted and it was ready to light.
When we did our Christmas safety thing, it's like you shouldn't run your extension cords underneath
mats and things.
Floor mats and things. I realize you
don't have extension cords.
You don't want to have extension cords underneath rugs and things like that. It's something that you want to make sure that they're exposed so you can see if there's going to be a problem or something like that.
Yeah, just try and not have it. That's why the code has outlets every so often in your house, because you don't want extension cords. So the code is there to eliminate that.
Yeah, and to protect you. Yeah. Now, some of the older electrical panels, you guys do a panel swap. How much is a panel swap these days for 200 amp panel?
So 100 amp or 200 amp to upgrade to a new panel. Again, it all depends on if you're changing the outside of the house, changing the inside, doing the whole works. You're looking at about $3,500.
Okay. To upgrade, and that's upgrading your service to 200 amp and a panel?
Yeah.
Okay, so $3,500, and you go from a 100 amp panel up to a 200 amp panel, and you get the newer technology and all that kind of stuff that goes along with it.
But then you got to think about, do you want to bring your power underground to your house now?
Oh, instead of
do you want to go overhead again?
Options,
so overhead is more expensive actually than underground.
Now, if you already have 200 amp service and you just want to switch the panel out,
that's a lot cheaper. It's $1,500.
Yeah, depending, $2,000, something like that. Yeah.
Half the time.
Yeah, half the time. I mean, the most expensive part is that when you do that, you do have to now upgrade to AFCI. You have to
all the breakers.
If you okay, so the general rule is with the electrical panel, if you touch a circuit, it has to be brought up to building code.
Yeah, correct.
So
anything we touch has to. And it's the right thing to do.
It's the right thing to do.
It is.
Period. Yeah. But so that means when you do that panel, you got to put all your AFCI breakers in and all that kind of stuff. You need to get a building permit.
Yep, electrical inspector has to come and inspect.
People, you
got to be licensed.
Get a building permit. Okay, I realize it's just the city wanting to get my $50. Yeah, it is, but there's also going to be an expert that's going to come out that's going to protect you from harming yourself to make sure that it's done properly. And honestly, going into the electrical panel is not a place for homeowner. No. Your screwdriver touches the wrong thing, you're having a really bad day, people. Okay.
Well, the thing with inspections is a lot of guys aren't licensed. Yeah. And that's why I read that book for 4 and 5 years to take the damn test. So I know it. Guys out there aren't licensed, and then they go and do this stuff, and then we see it.
Yeah.
And it's a mess.
Yep. It's a mess that you pay extra for to clean it up.
So if the guy can't pull a permit, do not hire him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you can pull a permit or you don't. I mean, I'm going to do my work to cover that permit no matter what, because it's my livelihood.
Yep.
But I always tell people, I said, if you want a permit that's entirely up to you, I'm still going to do it to code.
Yeah.
But there's guys out there that don't do it to code, and that's where the inspector comes in.
Yep.
Because then he can come in and say, what the heck did this guy do?
Yep.
This isn't right.
Isn't right, yeah. I mean, and the electrical inspector, they may not catch absolutely everything, but they're one stopgap to protect you. Okay, and it's just one level extra of protection to make sure that the job is done properly and that you're not going to get electrocuted. Yeah. Okay, so that is panel clearances. How important? I mean,
so that's important to the inspectors. I don't think it's that important.
Yeah,
I downplayed a little bit, but that's minor in our industry.
Yeah,
but panel clearance is 3 foot.
Yep.
So what they do is they take, according to the code book, it's a 3 foot box. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter where the panel's in that box.
Yeah.
You just have to have 3 foot by 3 foot in front of it clear.
Yeah.
And that's just the minimum.
So even if you're in the corner of the basement, you still...
Yeah, you have a box around that.
Box.
Yeah.
And it's just that you don't want to put your washer and dryer in front of the electrical panel.
Right,
okay?
because...
You need to access it.
Well, we need to work on that panel, and it's called safety clearances.
Yeah.
So when we're working on that panel, that's a box that if we get electrified or in trouble, we can fall backwards and get out of trouble. Mm-hmm. And that's all those clearances are for.
Yeah. Well, and in the event of an emergency, you don't want to have to call over your washing machine to get your electrical panel.
Common sense.
And if you're working in the electrical panel, you also don't want to be in a wet area. No. So
they used to put electrical panels right over the sump crock.
I see those once in a while. Yeah.
It's like nothing like having a panel there and all of a sudden you fall in the sump crock and you're in the water holding on to power.
Awful idea. Yeah.
I've seen it happen.
Yeah, awful idea. All right. So that is electrical safety in your home, people. Be safe out there, okay? If you're not qualified to work with electricity, call Meyers Electric, okay?
Yeah. I'm here to answer any questions.
Call away, all right?
We've always got someone on the phone.
Yeah, and it's just so much smarter for you, okay? Phone number's on our website, helpfulhomeinspector.com, but what is it?
262-968-3888. 3753.
There we go.
We've had that since 1970.
Tammy will flash that up on the screen on the replay and stuff for us all. Or if you're listening to on the podcast, remember, a podcast is going to be up on Monday that you can listen to the podcast about electrical home safety on your way to work. But yeah, that is electrical home safety. Now, we do have a giveaway this week. We are giving away a Milwaukee mini light. You can see that. It's a little bright there. It's these little guys. These little guys, they work great, super bright. They have a little adjustment there. I have probably 15 of them. I just, every time I see them, they're just convenient.
They are. I love these things.
Those little things are great.
I've got these.
And it fits in your pocket. It's just really nice. Yeah. They make a bigger one that I use when I'm inspecting that's like 1,100 lumens, you know? It's like super, It's like light up the sun.
They're great when you're snowmobiling out in the dark if you got a problem. Yeah. Been there, done that.
Yeah, exactly. But that is what we're giving away today. And the general way we would do the giveaway is if you've won a prize in the last month, you cannot win again. But the question of the day is, what was the average kilowatt hours used in a 1,500 square foot average American home in 2022 per day? How many kilowatt hours per day did the average American household use? And that's assuming a 1,500 square foot house. There's obviously bigger ones and smaller ones and stuff. But the average use per day. And you got to get as close as possible to the answer that I have on the card. Even if you're not tuning in live and you don't put it in, you can do it on the replay. You can put it in the comments. The first person to give it to me will get this new Milwaukee. How many lumens is this thing? 325 lumen flashlight. It takes 3 AAA batteries. It works great. I have a lot of them. But yeah, very cool. Now, one of the things that I did want to ask about, and that I kind of have been seeing a lot of the electric company saying, "Oh, you get free solar panels," and we install. What's the deal? Is that
nothing's free?
Nothing's free, and I know how expensive. I mean, to put a solar panel system in your house, $20,000 to $30,000, right? Is that stuff you guys deal with at all?
Yeah and no. I turn away from it because I don't believe in it just yet.
Yeah.
I don't think the cost, you're not going to get the return to your cost.
Yeah.
It's not there. Other electricians are going to argue me.
Sure.
So you have to really do your research and look at it, because now the rebates people are saying are big enough that you can install that system and it will come back. The problem is the battery saving technology isn't here yet. So you can have the solar panels. They have to charge your batteries in your house. Yeah. It's just like a car.
A Tesla wall is still
it's not there
$10,000, $12,000. Right. Yeah.
And then those batteries are gonna only last 5-6 years.
Long they wear out.
And then you gotta buy that battery system again.
Yeah.
Is it worth it? Mm-hmm. It doesn't work for me. That's why I burn pellets.
Yeah.
The pellets are the best renewable energy.
We had a whole episode on that with Bob. Yeah, Bob and Larry from the Fire Factory.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I can't.
So I'm not there yet. I know a lot of people that have put them in.
So if they're putting them in for free,
well, they're not free.
They're not.
You're still gonna pay. Yeah. No, you're getting rebates.
Yeah.
So you're getting a better deal when you put it in, but really do your research. I honestly don't know the rebate. There's
got to be some weird thing.
There's always a catch when it says for free. It's not.
Yeah. There's got to be something. Anything's too good.
It's too good to be true. It always is.
Yeah, exactly. And when it comes to these solar panels, you guys, they're basically putting them all on your roof. I believe the way that the program works is that We Energy still then owns the solar panels for the entire life of the solar panel, even though it's on your property. You know, it's just.
I mean, if we were in Arizona, get solar.
Well, yeah, you're not going to have the cloudy winters.
Right. We don't have enough sun here to warrant the solar.
There's solar farms going on. I've been driving around.
Yep.
Huge solar farm, like miles of solar panels being put up. Like up by Lomira, out by
and wind.
Yeah, and the that's been up for 10 years now. But man,
it's just a solar panel only produces so much power, and it's just not enough.
Yeah, and the solar panels, they degrade over time.
Yes,
so they don't transfer
as much.
They don't produce as much electricity over time, and then they have to be replaced, and then you have to buy new ones. But
it's coming.
The technology is getting better.
It is with Tesla and the batteries and everything. It's coming. It's just not here to my standards yet.
Yeah. But the technology will eventually be at a point where it makes sense.
Yes.
But it's not.
I like
it's
the
kind of
idea
like buying
of the
new
shingles.
cell phone.
the shingles.
Oh,
you know?
They have some of
they
those
do.
coming out now.
Yeah, that's
with the
awesome.
solar panel shingles. That's totally a cool idea and makes sense.
Yep.
You know, as especially if you have a south facing roof or whatever. You know, the last question as far as electrical goes that I got for you is: do you think the electrical grid can sustain the electrical vehicle usage as it is increasing?
Absolutely not.
I can't see it either.
I'm boggled because we have focus on energy. Mm-hmm. And that's We Energies. So We Energies is giving you money back to change your light bulbs to LED to save energy because...
Which you can get for free, by the way. If you go to Focus on Energy, they'll give you free LED light bulbs.
Yep. And so here they're trying to eliminate electrical off our grid just because we need to right now.
Yeah.
And now I'm running around installing electric car chargers all the time.
Yeah.
It's like putting electric ranges in your garage.
Yeah.
That's how much power these things draw. And we're adding tons to our grid.
Yeah.
It can't sustain it.
And until they do the structural improvements that we ultimately is going to have to be a federal government project.
Yes.
You know?
Huge. I mean,
you're talking about changing the entire electrical structure of the United States.
I mean, you look at California. Brownouts. They can't run their air conditioning.
Yeah.
And now we're adding more electric cars? Really?
They're mandating
What's more
them
important,
in California.
air or your car?
Yeah. They have some weird thing in 2025. They have to set 50% electrical vehicles. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. How can they? Crazy. Yeah. They can't support what they have. And it baffles me.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So that is electrical safety in your home, folks. Thanks for Bill Myers for attending this week and helping us out with understanding a little bit more how to make our home a little bit safer. And ultimately, if you do have any questions with electrical work, if you need somebody to come out and put in that fixture, make the light fixture, put in the generator, anything electrical, give Myers Electric a call. Their information as far as their website, email, phone number is all up on thehelpfulhomeinspector.com. We'll flash the phone number up here and stuff, but appreciate you coming in.
Hey, thanks for having me. This is awesome.
This is great. Now, as far as next week goes, we do have Mark and Sheila Smith coming back. We're going to talk a little bit about real estate again. We're going to be getting into home loan basics with Bill Meyer from Bank 59. Bill is a longtime lender and is going to have just a ton of information. If you're out there looking to buy a home, take out a loan, refinance your home, anything like that, to refinance your new remodeling project, whatever, Bill Meyer is the guy, and he's going to be here next week to talk to us a little bit about home loan basics. Our other subtopics, we're going to get a little real estate market update. We're going to talk about the bubble or no bubble. And then also we're going to talk about laminate flooring versus luxury vinyl plank and installing it in your home and lots of other good stuff for you. So thanks again for tuning in today, you guys. Appreciate you. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you want to know when we put out the next one, give me a bell notification. It's a little bell on the bottom right-hand side. And subscribe. You want to know when I'm coming out with new stuff, whatever. You want to be able to check us out and be alerted to new video content coming your way. Subscribe button's really the way to go. Thanks again for tuning in, you guys. Remember, the better you take care of your house, better it's going to take care of you. Have a good one.